There are not many people walking this earth who can call themselves contemporaries of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Being inspired by his life's work, my next guest fought years to ensure his legacy would never be forgotten and secured a statewide holiday in Virginia honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s amazing legacy. Douglas Wilder, the former governor of Virginia, joining us right now on the national desk. Good morning, sir. Great to see you.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
You met Dr. King at an event in Petersburg, Virginia, while he was speaking at an event for Wyatt Walker, and you have said in the past what Dr. King believed impacted you more than his life. Tell us about the first time you met with him, and how did his teachings inspire your political career?
Well, I was always interested in meeting him. I'd heard of him. He was born 2 years and 2 days before I was. He was assassinated in 1968. I was elected to the Virginia State Senate in 1969. And I remembered so much of the kinds of things that he was about. And I never thought he was confined to just demonstrations, marches, and songs. He was a visionary, he was a philosopher. And he dreamed a dream, but he dreamed in reality. And those were the kinds of things that made me want to achieve. One of the quotations from him that I've always remembered, he said, additional numbers are not necessarily the answer, because numbers in a column will eventually add to zero. And you think of that. And you then question as to what he would be saying today, what he would be doing today. You're right, it took me 8 years to get a holiday for Dr. King passed. I would get it passed in the Senate where I was. The House would kill it. I would get it passed in the Senate and the House, and the governor vetoed it. I had 2 governors to veto that bill. But eventually it passed. And unfortunately, it had to be linked with another holiday, Lee Jackson Day. But now it stands alone. And we did ours in Virginia before the national holiday was proclaimed. And I'm so pleased that Virginia again set the standard for where we should head. I think King would be surprised today at some of the things that are taking place as it relates to what is taking us so long to recognize that the measurement of government's responsibilities is not by color of skin, but by the obligations of government to all of its people. And I think he would be demanding that. And I think he would be saying of today's leaders, speak to truth, speak to facts, speak to those things that matter most. And I join in asking for those people to do just that today as we honor his great legacy.
And I know you two are a devout Christian who can not only see across the political aisle, but you reach across the political aisle, and you've said Democrats have lost their way, which is why the state of Virginia flipped from blue to red during the elections. Governor Glenn Youngkin was just sworn in. What do you think Dr. King would think about America today?
I think he would be pessimistic, but optimistic in terms of what we need to do tomorrow, because he knows it can be done. All it takes for things to be corrected is for the will and the direction. And we have the people there. They have been elected. We owe our elective offices to the workings of Dr. King. But he didn't want people to be in office just to say, I've been elected. What are you doing? And what are you saying for what? The people, all of the people. Reach across the aisle, reach across whatever is necessary to reach across, but get it done. Don't waste taxpayers' dollars. Don't argue about whether education is being delivered or not when you have the measurements to show in many instances it's not, and why is it not being done? Demand what is right, criticize what is wrong. And I'd like to say Hillel would say the same thing, if not now, when?
Governor Wilder, I read one of your favorite quotes from Dr. King, is the time is always right to do what is right. I think this also speaks volumes to how he was certainly a man of God before he was anything else. What does this quote mean to you?
That means that when it's right, do it. And if you don't do it, why not? And as Hillel would say, if not now, when? When is America going to live up to the high possibilities of the dreams? He was more about what's taking place, what needs to take place, rather than dreaming and marching. So it's one thing to say, well, we'll get there. The question really to be asked is, why aren't we there? Why must we wait any further? Why must we wait any longer? Why isn't education being given to the extent that it should be? Why are jobs not possible as they should be? Why are taxpayers' dollars continually to be wasted and not spent in the instances of all of America's people? I think we need to fasten on that, stay on that, and as you pointed out, that change that we saw in Virginia didn't just come about because some one or two people said so. The people themselves brought that change about. They'll change tomorrow and next year and next election, and they should if it's not for them.
As someone who grew up with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the same era as him, what is your message to the youth today about his legacy? What should all Americans keep in mind?
I think the youth of today need to recognize that they can achieve the high possibility of the individual, that nothing can stop them. Nothing can hold them back. Nothing held him back. Nothing held me back. Not only was Dr. King an inspiration to me, but my parents. I never had to leave my home to find my heroes. They were there. My parents made me believe that I could achieve and do anything that I'd set my mind to, but that I had to work to do it, that no one was going to give me anything, that I had to earn whatever it was and demand it and continue so, and that education never ceases. It's an ongoing, continuing thing that we all need to become better educated about who we are and where we want to go as a nation, as a state, as a country, and wherever else we need to go.
Before we let you go, Governor, a lot of greatness happened on this day. It's also your birthday, as well as my husband's. So we wanted to also, a lot of greatness happened. So we wanted
Well, you married a great man.
You got that right.
And he's a lucky guy.
Yes, he is. We also wanted to wish you a happy 91st birthday. Very quickly, what is the secret to a long, happy life?
The secret is that nothing should ever be taken for granted. You work at it, you try to maintain a healthy mind and a healthy body, but take absolutely nothing for granted, because I didn't have all of that fortune to extend to the rest of members of my family. I have one sister still living. She'll be 97, her birthday this summer. And yet there are those who passed earlier, some passed midterm. They were just as dedicated as any others, but fortune was not with them. I have been a very, very fortunate individual.
Yes,
I'm thankful for it.
Amen. All right, Governor. Great to see you. God bless.
Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us.